AFTV, Julian, you would have heard what Yardman just said there. You know what I mean? He's not happy with the result. None of us are happy. You know what I mean? 2-0 up, seem to be cruising. Right. And then you went and used those dreaded words. I think we can relax now. And maybe we did relax because, you know, they got back into the game and it's ended up 2-2. And even at the end, when we thought we'd nicked it, the goal got disallowed. I think the goal got rightly disallowed as well. So what did you make of it?
Well, I think after the first 20 minutes, if I'd never been to football before, then I would think there's only one team going to win the game. I've been to, I think I've calculated about 1,000 games in my lifetime, and I have to say that after 1,000 games, I still fell into the trap that I thought there's only one team that can win this. Maybe I just don't understand football, but I don't see anything fundamentally wrong with the management, the ownership, the team, the squad. Yes, the squad at the moment, for pure numbers, and we are struggling. But then I look at the amount of injuries that we've had, and I can absolutely agree with something Lee said, and a few people have said, is Partey at right back. I don't blame Partey as a person or as a player for where he plays. He's just not a right back. He doesn't have the speed. You may as well just put Raya in that position. He'd probably do not as good a job, but at least he's got a bit of speed, I would have thought. I mean, you look at...
Right back's not just about attacking down the wing with speed. It's also about defending, right? So, you know, who else are you going to put in there in that right back position that's going to... he has played there. Listen, I don't like him in that position. I don't think anyone does, but I could see why he's in that position today, especially for balance. Kivior is a left-footed centre-back. Kivior, I've seen him play in that position before. He just doesn't look that comfortable when he's on that side. So maybe that's why he did it. Yeah, and we were 2-0 up.
Well, you're quite right about that. Being a right back is about defending. Now, for their first goal,
that is him who gets done on it. Yeah,
he wasn't close. He wasn't close. At least try and be close to that. Who's it? Is it Dick? What was he called?
Tielemans, who scored
no,
the header?
No. I'm talking about the
guy Luca Dina. Yeah,
Luca Dina. And you said you actually called that right. You said the guy puts in a brilliant cross. Now, a professional player that has that much room and has that much quality, that's what's going to happen. Because the moment that cross went in, I don't blame whoever was marking Tielemans in the middle. That cross, the way it comes in, it was brilliant, but it's brilliant because he's allowed to be brilliant. And it's allowed to be brilliant because Partey's at right back, and you're talking about right back being, you know, it's important to defend, and he's not defending it because he's not tight enough, and that's the goal. So that's my criticism here, is that yes, the squad isn't big enough, and you're quite right. If you've got to play him at the right back, who else can... What is the alternative? Is Josh Nichols that bad? At least he's a right back. That's what he does. That's his job. All right, he might be a youth player, and he's not going to be as good as having Timber there. He's not going to be good as having Ben White there. But surely, because that's what he does for a living, he's going to be better than having Thomas Partey there.
Yeah. Well, listen, it was Thomas Partey there, and we've thrown away a lead. And do you understand where, you know, like, guys like Yardman, their frustrations coming from when we see we're 2-0 up in a game like this and we throw it away?
So I can understand that when people watch football, they become irrational. And if they're becoming irrational, they're not talking any sense. And Yardman, for me, speaks no sense whatsoever. He just doesn't, he has no comprehension of the real world and how you run, you know, a company. I mean, Arsenal is a company, it's a business. And you know, you don't just go out, as you said, you can't just hijack players. And it's not all about money. They say, just go spend the money. Well, it might be like, I look at, for me, money isn't everything in life. If I had a choice, and Liverpool came in for me, for instance, and they said, right, I'm going to pay you £600,000 a week to play at Liverpool, I wouldn't want to go and live in Liverpool. If Arsenal come and say, I'm going to give you nothing, I'm going to go and play for Arsenal. It's not all about money. If you don't want to go somewhere, you don't go. And there's many different reasons.
Right, maybe he's been a bit unrealistic with certain targets, but why haven't we brought no one in yet? It's the 18th. You saw today, right, when you looked at the bench, there's no options. And I'm not even talking about when they got the 2 goals back. I'm on about before that, because for me, I could look at a load of those Arsenal players and see they're very tired, the players that are playing up front. He needed a little injection, but he had no options. But the reason he's got no options is because of injuries. But we've known about these injuries now. Not even one player's come through that door. You know, why? Why has not even one player come? Not maybe, you know, I mean, I'm not saying Nico Williams and all these players are maybe unreasonable to get right now, but not even one reinforcement.
And as you said, it's the 18th of the month. Now, it's not the end of the transfer window. Now, what I don't want to see is absolute short-termism. If they don't get anyone by the end of this transfer window, I will be the first to admit that we're too short. We don't.
I didn't wait too long, because we played Manchester United, we played Newcastle United, we played Tottenham, and we played Villa. When you look at the start of that month, those are 4 very difficult games. Every single one of them, back to back. Surely you get someone in, even one person, you get them in early so that they can play in at least a couple of those games.
Yeah, and then I'll bring us back to the reality of the transfer window, and the majority of the transfers happen towards the end, because
we can't wait till the end, can we?
Well, we can, because for me, it's not about a few games. I'm not going to want Arsenal to go out and spend an absolute fortune that's going to then, because it's not about, it doesn't matter how much money someone's got, there's always a budget. And if you go out and spend 100 million on a player that's worth 30, 40 million, that has a knock-on effect for where we're going to be in the summer.
But if you'd have bought you bring those players in, say them players coming on deadline day, yeah?
Yeah.
That means they would have missed all those games I've told you about, and the 2 Champions League games that are vital as well, and 2 Premier League games that are vital as well. Can't get him in early, innit? We've seen City getting in Mamouche. He'll be ready to play for next week. And you know, we see them, they brought in a defender already. Players have been signed. Daniel Marlin, who's on the bench tonight. They didn't even need wide players, and they've got him in early. Why have we not moved?
Because everything is a risk. None of us have a DeLorean. We don't know where we're going to be at. But what you do know is that if you wait till the end of the transfer window, you could potentially get they've got targets. They are working. It's not as if they're not listening to us. They don't even need to listen to us. It's blatantly obvious to anyone that's ever watched football that we need players. I don't want to see them just get a player for the sake of it's a player and we're going to get just the numbers in. I want to see them get the right player in this transfer window, and if it takes another couple of weeks, for me, that's less important than getting the right player at the right price that's going to have a long-term benefit for us as a team, so we can go on and actually win things.